Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is GBall, and I have an exciting knife here to share with you coming in from Vosteed. This is a special edition for their 4-year anniversary. One of their most popular designs is getting a new pair of shoes, so to speak. Now, if you've never stopped by here before, welcome to GBall Vision. Drop me a comment below. Let me know what knives you are rocking today, or let me know what knives you are hunting down. Speaking of hunting down a knife, you might find yourself hunting one of these down. I know the release got kind of messed up, and in some places they got their shipment and they actually sold out, and other places are currently waiting on their shipment to show up. At the time you're seeing this video, hopefully the knives are available. I'll have what I can linked down below in the description. I know there was a shipping issue. You do get a nice little coin there with your knife, and you're going to get a COA card. We'll take a look at some of that stuff here in a few moments. But let's get the knife out and scope this thing out. So this is the Thunderbird with the Vanker lock. This is going to be a very limited run. I know they did 7 different versions and I think 240 of each. So that means each retailer and Vosteed's website, they're only going to be getting so many of each version, and once they're gone, they are gone. The good news is there is still a chance to get your hands on every single version when Vosteed gets them in. As of September 1st, they have not been released on their website. When you're seeing this video, that means they will be in stock, and I will have what I can linked down below in the description. Kick things off with this knife, they are going to come in at $259, at least for this particular version. They do have some with titanium and some with carbon fiber. Lots of different options to choose from. They're going to be coming in M390 for the blade steel. Beautiful, beautiful blade shape. I actually really like this one here. I've had a couple Thunderbirds in the past, and I don't know if it was just the coated blade version or if they slightly tweaked the blade on this one. I sadly don't have that one anymore to compare it with, but I feel like the blade is slightly changed in one form or another, and I could be mistaken. It could be just the coating that threw me off, but this looks really good with that belt satin. You do have a fuller and cutout for deployment along with front and rear flippers, so you'll never get bored of this knife with all them deployment options. And then it's going to have the Vanker lock, which is a pivot based button lock, and it is one of my favorite locking mechanisms in the game. It is top 3 for me. Only reason it's not higher is because Vosteed is the only one who can do the Vanker lock, so limited on what knives we get to check it out on, but everything that I have experienced with the Vanker lock is superb. Nice and strong, good detent, good action, very stable. I mean, everything that you would want in a folding locking knife. The Vanker lock brings a nice change up to the table. We'll get the tape measure out here and see what we're looking at. For overall length, we're looking at 8 1/8. Cutting edge is about 3 1/16, and total blade will give it 3 1/2. I have a couple of comparison knives with the Spyderco Para 3 up top and the PM2 on the bottom. Some people might be wondering, how does it compare to the size of the Xander? And I would say, for me personally, I am pleasantly surprised and happy at the size of the new Thunderbird. We have the Xander on the bottom from Vosteed, and then the Katuo Morgan up top. And the Thunderbird is going to have a little bit more length on it than the Xander does. Not going to be quite as tall in the blade or handle, but pretty close. And just for fun, 2 more. We have the Kershaw Bel Air up top, and on the bottom, the Concept Main Street. We'll grab the 50 Ways Baked In GBall Vision Hank and get a look at this pocket clip. And I haven't even gotten a chance to take a look at it with all the excitement. We are going to have about a 1/2 inch poking out, which many of you know I prefer that. Gives you a nice place to grab a hold of the knife while it's still down in the pocket and actually get a good grip on it to retrieve it. Retention feels good, and it looks like there's going to be plenty of clearance under there to get this in thicker seams. And yeah, that is really good. It's got a good length on it. It's not too short, not too long. That is executed beautifully. And then the titanium backspacer, that looks really nice. You also have the integrated lanyard hole there for the lanyard fans. The only people who are going to be really left out on this fella is going to be the left-handers who would want to mount this lefty, or anyone who would want to mount this lefty. It doesn't appear that you're going to have that ability. I always say that doesn't stop you from picking up a knife that you really want to enjoy. I just wouldn't let that stop me. At least personally, you know, you might be a little bit different. You'll have to let me know your opinion in the comments if you have one. We're going to get the arch nemesis out here, and we're going to give this thing a weight check. Now, it's the arch nemesis because I like to play a little game here on the channel with the new knives that come in. I attempt to guess the weight, and I always invite you to play along. You can put your guess down in the comments, ounces or grams, whichever you prefer. Even if you already have a comment down there, go ahead and put your guess. And if you're enjoying this video, you like knives and EDC gear, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you never miss another video. I'm going to give this a go and see if we can get recalibrated here. I've been a little off lately. I'm going to say it's a good, healthy size, and it actually feels really good in the hand also. We didn't even check the liners, but those are going to be steel liners with the carbon fiber over top. The pocket clip, backspacer, and hardware are going to be titanium. The liners are going to be stainless steel. Let's say that this is going to come in at, I'm going to say 4.6. You might think I'm crazy, but no. I'm going to go higher. 4.8. 4.8. Lock me in. 4.8. 4.9. 4.9. Lock me in. Oh! Damn! I should have stuck with 4.8. I started psyching myself out, and I thought, maybe is it up at 5? No way. But then I started scaring myself. Should have went with 4.8. Damn. 126 grams for those of you driving, and it's coming out 4.4 ounces. Probably more like 4.5, but oh! See? If you're driving, it just changed. That's why it's the arch nemesis. That's why, right there. There's no winning. Can't get close. That's a rarity right there. You see it go in my favor. Now we're going to get our caliper tool out here and get a couple of measurements on the handle and blade. This is just a measuring device, a digital one. And we're looking at 0.51 on the handle thickness, 13.1 millimeters, which is actually a decent thickness. If you have a little bit larger hands, it's going to pay off to have something with a little bit thicker handle. You know, on average, I would say 3.49 millimeters and 137 thousandths. So very standard stuff. My point is it's going to vary from person to person and what scenario you're looking at the knife for. So it could be a billion different options, but let's go ahead and get a look at our behind the edge here. And in that particular spot with that particular hold, we're looking at 23 thousandths. Let's go up here closer to the tip. It thickens up just a little tiny bit to 27 thousandths, which isn't abnormal for a blade style like this. Typically, we see them a little bit thinner on the longer running edge, and then running up to the tip there, they tend to thicken up a little bit. Gives you a little bit more piercing power. Let's see how this cuts out of the box. You know, I feel bad about it, but there's nothing I can do right now. I'm out of magazine paper, and for now, we're just gonna have to settle with some notebook paper. See what kind of edge we have on this out of the box. No, it doesn't tell us everything we want to know. And no, this isn't some intricate cutting section of this video. We're merely testing the edge just to make sure, you know, on paper, it's going to cut it cleanly and smoothly. And just so you know, I have a pretty good feel for edges out of the box. I've checked out a few knives in my day, and you know, I can tell you know, pretty good how the edge is. And this one is very, very good. Very, very good. Really good. No hesitation whatsoever. Feels clean. No snags. Really nice. I would say that's about perfect for this blade and its intended use. This isn't meant to be like a TRM Atom slicer. This is meant more for all around use, but it's going to still be a hell of a cutter, I think, in my opinion. You'll have to let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I like this quite a bit. I wasn't, you know, I went into this open-minded, but I had an eerie feeling that I might not care for it too much for whatever reason. And this knife has proven me wrong. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I'm pretty happy with the outcome here. Surprised and very happy. Let's go ahead. We'll get the off-grid driver out and we'll see what we're looking at for the hardware situation. I can tell you right now, those are going to be T8 on the body screws. And here is your daily reminder to tighten up any screws on your knife, especially when you first get it, but after you get it as well. If you're carrying it and whatnot, always tighten up your screws because they can come loose right from the factory. You know, they're installed and they might not be tight. Like this knife here, we had 3 on the show side that needed a little bit of tightening up. Not a huge deal if you're aware of that fact, but you know, just something to be mindful of. That one needed a nice tightening there as well. So make sure you're checking your hardware. You don't want to find yourself without a body screw or a pocket clip. And not that Vosteed won't take care of you right away. And with open arms, they would definitely hook you up with some extra hardware if you needed it. But you don't want to have to need it. So if you just check your stuff, you're going to be in good shape. By the way, T8s all the way around. Very nice touch. The detent is excellent. It is perfectly centered up there. The cutout works nicely, thumb and reverse flick. And I found with these Vanker locks, they do tend to need a little bit of break-in for the action. It is good right now, but it gets even better as that lock starts to break in and the detent and the track and all that sort of thing. They eventually start to break in very nicely. Man, I like this quite a bit, and I didn't think I'm liking this new Thunderbird quite a bit. Now, at this point in time, I don't have any questions about the Vanker lock and the strength it brings to folding knives. I have tested close to 10 of them now, and although that's not a ton, that's a pretty good sampling of tests, right? And they have all done very, very well, like extensive testing. So I don't have any fear with this lock. When it's done properly, it is a massive chunk of steel moving over under that tang. So I like the system. It works really well. And it's so fun to disengage a knife with the pivot. I just absolutely love it. Vanker lock is just top tier stuff in my opinion. Side to side, up and down, I don't feel a single movement, not even just a little bit. It is nice and solid. Let's go ahead and we'll kick it out. We'll start off with a light tap just to get us going. That was actually a pretty hard tap out towards the tip, and it didn't shake at all. We're not doing this to see if you can hammer a nail into a tree with the spine of your blade. We're just doing this to make sure, in case there is any accidental pressure on the spine, the lock is going to hold up for you. We'll go ahead and we'll give it one more double tap, sounds really, really good. Really good. You hear that? When it gives the thwack back, that's a very, very good sign. Excellent. You couldn't ask for anything more than that right there. I will say, these are going to be very hard to get, this particular setup, but I have a feeling they'll be bringing this model back in the future in different forms with this lock. I also can say, if you are unable to get one of these for whatever reason, they still have other knives with the Vanker lock that are actually available, surprisingly. I gotta say, I'm actually very surprised that you can still get them. They must have made quite a few of these Xanders, because those are in stock on their website and on Blade HQ from what I've seen. Now, maybe not every single version, but there's quite a few of each on both retailers or both websites. You'll have to let me know what you think of the new Thunderbird here, their 4-year anniversary special edition. I have to say, I didn't know what to expect upon pulling this out of the box, but I have to say I'm pretty happy with the final product. Very happy, actually. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this one. And what do you want to see from Vosteed in the future? Do me a solid, hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to make sure you never miss another video, hit the subscribe button and stab the bell. I'm going to have a couple of new videos popping up on your screen that you haven't seen yet. Go check out that one on the right there. Go ahead, just click it. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.